Good morning, students. Welcome to Computer Application Lab class for first year students. On today's class, we will be discuss about some more programs related to array and your function. So in array, single dimension array is there and multi-dimension array is there. Okay. So in single dimension array, you are able to store more than one values in a single name, that is nothing but number of rows are going on increasing and the column is remain 1. Whereas in multi-dimension array, number of rows and columns are going on increasing. Okay. So as per the first question, it asks you to accept row wise and column wise elements in a two-dimension array and print them. That means in a matrix type of array, you have to define it and you have to accept different number and store it. After that you have to print it. Okay. So let's see in this question how we are defining the array. So here the array name is your mark, 3 by 3 is there, means 3 row and 3 columns is there. And for row and column we have to control with two variable, that is I and j. Then you have to print the message for entering the 9 elements because 3 by 3 is there. Okay. 3 rows and 3 columns. And here the 2 for you have to use because inside one for another for you have to assign, because for first row 3 columns are there, for second row again 3 columns are there, for third row again 3 columns are there. Okay. So this type of loop is nothing but called nested loop, means for inside for. Okay. So in nested loop you have to solve this question. So we are defining two loop, that is I 0 less than 3, means 0 1 2 3 elements you have to accept. Suppose this is related to row and inside first row the column you have to activate, that is j is equal to 0 and j is less than 3, means 0 1 2. Okay. So as per scanf statement, you are assigning the ampersand mark of I and j, means for the first row that is your 0 and first column that is your 0, means you have to store the value on 0 0 location. After that when it moved to the bottom to top, then the j value becomes 1 but the I value is remain 0. So next is your 0 1. Then again it go to the top, that is your 0 2. Okay. After that it out from the loop because it is written j is less than 3. Okay. Then again it move for the I value. Now I is becomes 0 to 1. Again when I value is 1, again the j is start from 0 and it will run 0 1 2 for the 3 times. Okay. Like such a manner, this loop is for accepting 9 elements into the two dimension array. Okay. And the same nested loop is there for printing that value. Okay. Same, I is 0, I is less than 3, j is 0, j is less than 3, and printf of mark of I and j. Now see, this is for scanf for accepting the value and this is for printf for print the value. Okay. Now next go for the program, that is your write a program in C to find the vowel in a given string. So here this types of question you have to solve with the help of your array concept, because more than one value you are whenever you are storing, means think about you are storing one string. Okay. That string can be stored in a string type of array. Okay. So now in string type of array you are storing and you have to check one by one location whether that character is vowel or not. Okay. So here you are defining the variable as I because we have to count how many vowels are there. So count variable is there. Now char s of 50 means I am assigning one s type of array where 50 locations are there. Okay. And it is a character type of variable. So no doubt it is the size is 50, means you have to store less than of 1 that is your 49 length can be stored. Okay, so whatever the text you are inputting, that is maximum of 49, and one character is for your null character. Okay, null value is there. So then you are accepting the value by input a string, and gets is one type of function where we are able to accept the string type of value. Okay, so that's why we are using gets s. S is your string array variable name. Okay, then after accepting, suppose think about you are accepting Raurkela. So here s is initialized with Raurkela. Now inside Raurkela, how many vowels are there, that should be calculated by using this for loop. Okay, so that's why the for loop is written. Start with 0 and it will be going for how much? S is not equal to null value. Okay, so unless until if you are not finding the null value, you going on reading one by one location and check whether it is vowel or not. Okay, then here the if statement is necessary because we have to find out whether that alphabet is vowel or not. So you have to write if s means your array is location is starting with 0, so 0 is stored with small a or capital A. This one is your OR symbol, two pipers are there, that is your OR. So that means the first 0 location is stored with A, small a or capital A, or small e or capital E, or small I or capital I. Okay, so like such a manner it will check A, E, I, O, U vowel. If it is there, then it increase one variable, that is your counter, as plus plus. Okay, so this for loop, now see, start from this one to end from this one. This for loop is going on reading one by one character and check whether the vowel is there or not by this if statement. If it is there, then the counter is going on counting how many vowels are there. Okay, so when it out from the loop, in counter we are having the counting of vowels, how many vowels are there, then you have to print the counter. Okay, so number of vowels in a string is print as count. Okay, so here in this program you are accepting one string and count how many vowels are there, and at last it will print the number of vowels. Okay, suppose you are entering one string, that is find 4 vowels or 3 vowels, that will be print by this statement. Clear? Now go for the next program, that is your find the factorial of a given number by using recursion function. Okay, so factorial of a number means just like if you are entering a number as 3, so 3 factorial is your 3 into 2 into 1. 4 factorial is your 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, so this logic should be assigned inside a recursion function. So in recursion function, you are calling that function inside that function also. Okay, so now see, now here the variable is defined as num and f is there for factorial. Enter a number, you are accepting a number here only. Suppose your number is 3, so it will calculate the 3 factorial. So 3 is passed to the fact function, and whatever the result is there, 3 into 2 into 1, the 6 will be stored in f. So how it will store? This fact function is from this point it moved to the fact function, means here it moved to this part. So here in num we are storing 3, so 3 is passed to where? N. Okay, so now it check whether the n value is 0 or 1, then you return. If it is not 0 and 1, then go for what part? That 3 into fact of 3 minus of 1. Okay, like such a manner, then 2 minus of 1. So at last here on this function it is giving you the 6 result, then that is stored in where? In f. Okay, then we have to print the factorial of that number is f. So if we are entering 3, then it is showing you the factorial is 3 into 2 into 1, that is your 6. Okay, so this is one type of recursion function, means inside this fact function again we are calling that same fact function, that is called recursion function. Next is your Write a program in C to find the sum of Fibonacci series by using the function. Okay, so what is that Fibonacci series? Fibonacci series means what? The number is there, that number is added with the previous number, and whatever the result is coming, that should be noted down. Again that same number is added with the previous number, just like if we are writing 0 and 1. Okay, so 0 plus 1 plus 0, the result is 1. Again 1 is added to the previous one number, the result is 2. Again 2 is added to the 1 number, the result is 3. Then 3 is added to the 2 number, then it is 5. Okay, so that means the Fibonacci series is just like 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, like such a manner. Okay, so this type of series is there, and we have to find out the series, and we have to make the sum of that series. Then we have to use by using one type of function, not in a simple program. Okay, the same concept we have to apply inside a function. That is your user defined function. So see on this program. Now first we are defining one Fibonacci function. So in short form it is written as Fibo, and R is there. This is the prototype of the function. Okay, now in void main the range is there, because we are asking the range. Depend upon the range, the series is to be print and find its sum. So range value is to we have to accept, so that range value should be passed inside your Fibo function. Okay, and this range value is passed to where? To the R. Okay, so if your range is 5 term, 3 term, 4 term, so R is accept with that value. Now here A value is there as 0 and B value is as 1. Okay, already I had told you that 0, 1, 1, 2, like such a manner it is going on continuing. So initially first you have to assign the value. So first we are assigning the value as one is 0, another one is 1. Now on this function we have to calculate in such a manner that 0 plus 1 becomes 1 is there, again 1 plus 1 becomes 2 is there, like such a manner it should calculate. Okay, so here we are assigning with a loop where A means 0 is less than equal to your R. R means your 4 term or 5 term, whatever your value entering. Okay, so sum is your sum plus A. Okay, so in short form you have to write down sum plus equal to A. That means what? Sum equals to sum plus A. Okay, and in C you have to add the A and B value. Then the swapping concept you have to apply. That is, whatever the B value is there you have to store in A, and whatever the C value is there you have to store in B. Okay, so in this loop it is going on continuing unless until the R value, means the range value, is not reached to the position. Okay, and inside the loop it is going on adding with the previous number and stored in some variable. Okay, and when you are out of the function, now when you are out of the function you have to print the sum by writing the message as sum of Fibonacci series is your sum is there. Okay, now next one is your write a program in C to accept a number from the keyboard and print it in reverse order of entry by using function. Okay, already I have discussed the palindrome program, and on that program also the same logic is there as for reverse program. Okay, so palindrome and reverse both are the same concept. Okay, so in reverse we are printing that reverse number, but in palindrome the reverse, after calculating the reverse number we have to check whether that reverse number is equals to your actual exact number or not. Okay, so like such a manner you are evaluating the palindrome and reverse. Same concept is there. Okay, just like you are accepting the value, then you are passing the number inside reverse function. Okay, so in reverse function n value, suppose you are writing 275, so the 275 is passed to where? Your NO. Then that same thing for this NO you are assigning the value as reverse, then your reminder, and one temp variable is there. Okay, and then same loop is there where temp is not equals to 0, and in this loop you have to find out the remainder by dividing the 10 actual number, divide with 10 and find the remainder. Whatever the remainder value is there, you have to store in RAM, then the reverse you have to calculate, then the temporary value should be divided by 10. Okay, like such a manner this loop is going on continuing, and whatever the number you input, just like 275, that same thing should be stored in 572 format in on your REV variable. Okay, so when you out of the loop, you have to print the reverse of the number is REV. Just like if on your n value you are entering 257, so at output it should display you 752 by reverse. Okay, so the same concept, palindrome and reverse is having the same concept. If you know about reverse, then no problem about your palindrome, finding the palindrome by number. Clear? Now go for the next one, that is your write a program in C to compute the sine series. Okay, so for the sine series you have to accept the angle value. Okay, so we are defining the two variable, that is angle and value is there. You are accepting the angle value by float type of variable, so percentile f is there. Okay, then you have to put this formula, that is sine of this angle. Okay, so here math.s is there because we are using the sine function, it's a math type of function. So whenever you are using any type of math related function, just like when we find out the power function, so for that we have to assign at the top of your program, that is your math.h. Okay, so here we have to use this sine function, that's why we are using the math.h function. Okay, this is the math.h header file. Then we are writing value is equal to sine of angle, angle is given by u, then m underscore of pi divided by 180 is a, so m underscore pi is a constant used to represent your pi value. So 22 by 7 pi value is there, that should be represented by m underscore pi variable. Then you have to print that sine value by angle and value. Okay, so on this program, whenever you are assigning the angle, you will be getting the sine series. Okay, now I will show you on your Turbo C how to execute all this program. So let's start with Turbo C. Now see, this is the first program, that is accept row wise and column wise element in a 2-dimension array. Okay, so already I typed the program. Now only we have to compile it and execute it, and we have to see the output. So Alt plus F9 for compile. Yes, success is there. Control plus F9. Now see, here it asks you to enter 9 elements. So here I am typing just like 1, 2, 3. First row is complete. Then 4, 5, 6. Second row is complete. 7, 8 and 9. Okay, so my 9 elements is totally entered by me. Now see the output, Alt plus F5. Okay, the matrix elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Clear? We have to accept a string and it should calculate how many vowels are there. Okay, so Alt plus F9 for compile, Control plus F9 for run. Here I am typing Raulkela. So check the output. Yes, 4 vowels are there. Again I press Control plus F9. If I type the other value, computer, so Alt plus F5, now the 3 is there. Okay, so here the next program, that is accept a number, find the factorial of a number by using your recursion function. Okay, so let's execute this program. Alt plus F9, Control plus F9. If I am typing 4 factorial, so 4 is your 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, so 24 is display. Okay, now go for the next program. So Fibonacci series we have to calculate. Okay, so here we have to accept the series number, range number, automatically it calculate the sum and print it. Odd plus F9, go for control plus F9. Suppose my series is 4. Now see, odd plus F5. Okay, so your 0, 1, 2, 3. So you have to adding. First it print as 0, 1, then 2. Okay, so if you make the addition, 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 2, then next is your 3, 4, then 3, that is your 7. Okay, so that means it should print as 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, then 5. Okay, this is the series. Then if you calculate, means you have to adding it, then the value is what? The 1, 1, 2, 3 means 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4 plus 3 is your 7. Okay, now next one is your print the reverse of a number. Okay, Alt plus F9, control plus F9. So here I am not using the CLR ACR, that's why this one is display with the previous program output. If I am entering 5, 6, 7, so Alt plus F7. Now see, the output is 7, 6, 5. Okay, again I am executing this program. So before that you have to write here only the CLR ACR function. CLR ACR, bracket start, bracket close, semicolon, and here you have to write down the conio.h. So hashtag include then conio.h. Okay, save this file, Alt F9, control F9. Okay, so if I am writing 784, now Alt plus F5, 487 will display. Okay, so whatever the number you input, it should be print in reverse order. Clear? Now the next one is your write a program in C to compute the sine series. Okay, so here already you know that we have to use the math.h header file. Okay, and the mpi constant is to be used. So simple things, you have to accept the angle. Here the angle is there, that is in floating point number. Okay, then you have to calculate the value by using the sine function. Okay, because this sine function is inside your math.h, and here you have to input angle into m underscore pi, that is your constant, and divided by 180. Okay, and at last you have to print it. Now see, we have to execute this program. Alt plus F9, control plus F9. Okay, now I am entering 30 as sine, so it display me 0.500. Okay,